Just as I was about to be promoted to primetime news anchor, a stunning beauty named Yan, a Stanford graduate with a master's in journalism, has just landed at the TV station. The station issued a mission: whoever secures the exclusive interview rights with Yan Zhou, the big shot of Beijing's elite circle, will get the host position. I'm confident I'll win, because Yan Zhou is my secret husband. However, Yan Zhou accepted Yan's interview and turned me down when I found out that Yan was his first love. I knew we were done. I volunteered to fly to the Donbas region as a war correspondent. You've got to hold on to at least one, career or love. Yan Zhou, this time I don't want you anymore. One, gasps echoed through the office. Everyone is gathered around Yan. The leader's eyes showed a look of admiration. No wonder you're a top talent from Stanford. Congratulations, Yan. The task assigned yesterday. And today you've secured the exclusive interview rights with the CEO of the G Group. It is an open secret in the industry that Yan Zhou never gives interviews. The G family doesn't need any media interviews for publicity. Yan Zhou himself is the best advertisement. A smile curled at the corners of Yan's lips. It's my job. No need to thank me. Colleagues were both surprised and delighted that Yan secured the exclusive interview rights with Yan Zhou. Since Yan Zhou took over the G Group, he has never granted an interview to any media outlet, but my smile was a bit forced. I've been at the Capital TV station for 5 years, just one final push and I'll be promoted to primetime news anchor. But yesterday, we were suddenly informed that a new female host had joined, beautiful and highly skilled professionally, and a master's degree in journalism from abroad. She introduced herself with poise and confidence. Hello, my name is Yan. Even though I graduated from Stanford's journalism program, I've never actually worked in the field. I have no experience. I look forward to your continued guidance. She is polite and approachable, without any airs, won the favor of many colleagues. In that moment when she met my gaze, the corners of her mouth lifted slightly, with a hint of smugness. The boss called both her and me into the office. The task was assigned to both of us. Nanji, we're hoping to secure an exclusive interview with Yan Zhou of the G Group. So the station is giving you two a test. Whoever secures the exclusive interview rights with Yan Zhou will be the one to host the primetime news program. I was secretly delighted inside. I can definitely handle this, because Yan Zhou is my secret husband. Out of the office, Yan extended her hand. Hello, Nanji, you can call me Xiao or Yen. I raised an eyebrow. She actually knew my name. Her arrival was too sudden. It feels like it's directed at me. I pursed my lips and smiled. Hello, my name is Su Nanji. Just call me Nanji. We exchanged contact information. They walked out of the building side by side. She suddenly spoke up. Nanji, we compete fairly. It's just a hosting gig. Yet her eyes are full of ambition. It's as if we're competing for more than just a position. Last night, Yan Zhou returned home after a business dinner. He smelled faintly of alcohol, with a slight flush on his face. The well-fitted shirt accentuates the man's perfect body contours. His suit jacket was draped over his arm. The light fell on his face, highlighting its sharp contours, a straight nose beneath thick brows. He lifted his eyelids to look at me. Something wrong? I blurted out directly. Can I interview you? He paused for a moment, his brows slightly furrowed. After a moment of deliberation, he said, Nanji, I don't give interviews, and there are no exceptions. When the leader assigned the task, I felt confident that we would succeed, because Yan Zhou is my husband. So when Yan Zhou turned me down, I felt a bit awkward. Gathering my courage, I asked him, even as your wife, can't I have an exception? Yan Zhou nodded. Even if you were my wife, I said. Okay, I understand. Actually, I think if I can't get it, then Yan won't be able to get it either. The next day, when the boss informed Yan that she had secured the exclusive interview rights with Yan Zhou, I was in a daze for a long time, just staring blankly into space. I can't describe how I felt at that moment. It was as if I had lost the entire world in an instant, until my partner Xinyao comforted me. Nanji, don't be sad, it's clearly been rigged. She's just a parachute hire. This isn't your fault. I'm obviously struggling, but what made me sad wasn't just the failed promotion, it was that Yan Zhou didn't take my side. When I learned that Yan was Yan Zhou's first love, everything clicked. Yan wants to compete with me for more than just the TV station host position, and Yan Zhou, after she secured the exclusive interview rights, still maintaining a calm and composed demeanor. After the leader left, she proposed, how about I treat everyone to coffee? The colleagues are all excited. Once we secure the exclusive interview rights with Yan Zhou, all departments will meet their targets 6 months ahead of schedule, barring any surprises. The year-end bonus will also double, so even though Yan Zhou didn't secure the exclusive interview rights himself, He still gets to enjoy the benefits. They all see Shiryen as their savior, a colleague spoke up. Shiryen, you're absolutely amazing. Even the crown prince of Beijing's elite circle can be won over. Shiryen smiled gently. We know each other. After saying this, she looked at me. Shiryen raised an eyebrow slightly and averted her gaze, a seemingly casual remark, yet it carried many hidden implications. It caused a minor stir. Sister Shir, you're so beautiful. Could she be the crown prince's girlfriend? Someone interjected. That's not right. I heard the crown prince got secretly married. Shiryen's almond-shaped eyes flickered slightly. Feel free to send me your coffee orders once you've decided. Everyone. Shiryen was easygoing and quickly fit in with her colleagues. A colleague invited Shiryen to grab dinner after work. Shiryen refused. Thanks, I have plans tonight. I just got back home, and my friends threw a welcome party for me. A colleague sighed with regret, then suddenly looked astonished. Fine, then. It couldn't be with President Ji, could it? Shiryen blinked but said nothing. At the same time, Ji Yanzhou sent me a message. I have a business dinner tonight, so I'll be home late. Although Ji Yanzhou and I are in a secret marriage, he has never been involved in any romantic scandals and has always treated me with respect. We keep each other informed, and we also exchange gifts on anniversaries and birthdays. I have a feeling that the person hosting the welcome dinner for Shiryen tonight is Ji Yanzhou. 3. It's hard not to be curious about my husband's first love. Sure. Yen is a stunning beauty, seems hard to approach, but is actually proactive and warm. This contrast makes her seem like a really nice person. In her social media feed, there was a side completely opposite to her appearance, and she posted countless rambling updates. Some were just text-based rants, while others include selfies and travel photos. My heart gave a slight flutter when I saw Ji Yanzhou's profile picture in the likes list. A faint pang of bitterness welled up inside me. No comments, just likes. Aside from Ji Yanzhou, a few of his friends also occasionally liked and commented. From the words between the lines of his friends' comments, it's clear they used to have a great relationship. After scrolling through my friends' posts visible only for the past 6 months, I'm ready to log off. Shiryen posted another update. In the photo, Ji Yanzhou is not there, but I recognized at a glance the person in the corner, the one with the Rolex Submariner Hulk on their wrist. It's Ji Yanzhou. Hee hee. Thanks to my friends for throwing me a welcome party. Soon, a colleague commented on her post. Wow, feels like a room full of big shots. Shiryen jokingly replied to her colleague, so you're the big shots friend. Strange. In less than 3 days, Shiryen's social circle overlapped with mine by half. It seeped into every corner of my life. In the past, I would leave a light on for Ji Yanzhou when he came home late from social engagements. Tonight, I stood under that light, hesitated for a moment, turn off the light, just as I was drifting off to sleep. I heard the sound of water running in the bathroom. Opening his eyes, Ji Yanzhou was standing by the bed. His voice was pleasant, cool and clear. Why didn't you leave the light on tonight? I clicked off the bedside lamp with a snap. Forgot. He climbed into bed, and the faint scent of body wash mixed with the smell of his hormones enveloped me. After his shower, a man's strong arms locked tightly around me from behind. I froze for a moment, then slowly pried open his fingers one by one and pushed his hand away. Ji Yanzhou, I'm sleepy. His voice carried a slight hoarseness. Okay, go to sleep, I'll hold you. For Shiryen has infiltrated every corner of my life. You can't avoid it even if you try, because she's pretty much a newcomer. My boss asked me to support her. Shinyao spoke up for me. Why the hell? Just to pave the way for her. She's something else. Bagging the crown prince. How impressive. Just go home and be a proper rich wife, instead of coming out here and taking away the jobs of us ordinary folks. You've worked diligently for the station all these years and brought in so many sponsorships. What's that supposed to mean? I let out a sigh. Just my luck. That's really unlucky. To secure the primetime host position, I started from the very bottom, doing odd jobs. I've been through a lot of hardships, carrying over 10 pounds of equipment, running across construction sites and rice paddies in the scorching heat, to seek justice for ordinary people and recover their wages. I've been hit with a brick thrown by a coal boss. I hit my head and it's bleeding, but I don't dare let my family or Ji Yanzhou find out. He was speaking out for homebuyers in an abandoned construction site, exposing a corrupt developer, and then fell from the unfinished building, lying on the stretcher in the ambulance. I cried and begged the doctor to save my life, even while still groggy from the anesthesia. He was still mumbling about work, life. How many 5-year spans does it Truly hold, watching Shen Miao seethe with righteous indignation, even angrier than I comforted her instead. Forget it, it just means this position wasn't meant for me. At least, I've met a true friend who genuinely cares about me. 5. On the day of the interview, the leader first held a kickoff meeting for us and went over the key points to note. Not many people were arranged, I am one of them. This is Shiryan's home turf, and she and I were originally rivals, so I ended up being a gopher. Please help organize the recorded instruments, check the camera equipment and broadcasting equipment. The interview took place at the G Group. The moment I walked into the meeting room, everyone fell silent instantly. The meeting room is very spacious. G's is located in the city center, a large floor-to-ceiling window. You can get a panoramic view of the city's nightscape. Ji Yanzhou's office has the best view. Just before the interview, I stepped out. Ji Yanzhou pushed the door open and stood tall, a cold, stern expression. His gaze fell on Shiryan as I brushed past him. He nodded slightly and took the initiative to greet Shiryan. Little smoke, Shiryan said with a smile. Let's get started. Halfway through the recording, a few colleagues and I were waiting outside. Ji Yanzhou's assistant saw me. He looked at me with a hint of confusion until I went to the water cooler. Assistant Chen spoke up. Miss Su, why aren't you the one interviewing President Ji? I say with candor. He turned down my interview request. I took a sip of coffee and looked up to see Assistant Chen's startled and hesitant expression. I said, I'll head off now. You're busy. Went back to sit in the original spot. Colleagues started gossiping among themselves. Hey, did you guys notice that just now, it was President Ji who took the initiative to greet Sister Shiryan? They must be rekindling an old flame. I guess Mr. Ji can't get over Sister Shiryan. I chuckled to myself and said, didn't Ji Yanzhou get married? Cheating is immoral. Bigamy is illegal. Shen Miao snorted coldly. What's wrong with just saying hello? A paratrooper. Suddenly, the interviewer inside called me in. Sister Nanji, you're needed inside. I nodded, set down my coffee, and walked in. Behind the meeting room is the photography equipment. In the meeting room, only Shiryan was being interviewed, and Ji Yanzhou, who was being interviewed, through the transparent glass. He looked at the camera. A deep voice rumbled through my ears. After helping to debug the equipment, the interview was almost over. When about to leave, someone boldly asked Ji Yanzhou, Mr. Ji, are you and our sister Shiryan each other's first love? Ji Yanzhou's voice was very soft. He let out a soft grunt. Everyone's face was filled with gossip and shock. Only then did I step out and stand behind Ji Yanzhou. My colleague, worried I hadn't heard, called out my name excitedly. Sister Nanji, did you hear? CEO Ji and Sister Shiryan were each other's first love. Ji Yanzhou's tall figure stiffened slightly. I walked over to Shen Miao. I exchanged a glance with Ji Yanzhou. His eyes trembled almost imperceptibly. She furrowed her brows slightly and looked at me. His gaze remained cold and indifferent. They never shy away from a good spectacle, no matter how big the drama, especially since we're all in the journalism industry. There's plenty of gossip, Mr. Ji, to be honest. You haven't forgotten our sister Shiryan, have you? All eyes were on Ji Yanzhou. Ji Yanzhou looked at me, panic flickering in his eyes. I looked him straight in the eye, my gaze clear and open. Meow meow, let's go, Shiryan said with a smile. Impossible, I was the one who dumped him back then. It'd be good enough if he doesn't hate me. Wow, you actually dumped COG. 6 Shen Miao and I stepped into the elevator. A pair of hands suddenly pressed against the elevator doors. Ji Yanzhou stood outside the elevator. His eyes were dark and deep. Tense voice. Sunanji, wait for me. Shiryan's voice was soft and sweet. Ink boat, Ji Yanzhou turned his head and let go. I took the opportunity to press the button for the first floor. By the time he came to, the elevator doors had closed. Only a crack remains. Through a narrow gap, we exchanged a glance. I am calm. Without a ripple, Ji Yanzhou's brows furrowed tightly, a flicker of panic flashing in his eyes. Shen Miao said I was too calm. She was even more outraged than I was when she stood up for me. Actually, I'm not calm, just have to accept it. I've been in this field for 5 years. Working my way up from running errands to becoming a host. I'm just one step away from being a primetime host. It just had to go wrong. Shiryan got this position much more easily than I did. My 5 years have gone down the drain. I have secretly cried my heart out. Later, I let it go. 7 Shen Miao froze for a moment, until the elevator reached the first floor. Just now, Ji Yanzhou seemed to call your name. Did I hear that right? I nodded. You heard me right. Shen Miao gripped my hand tightly. Nan. The way he looked at you, it's like he knows you, isn't it? Got off the elevator and left the G residence. I told Shen Miao the truth. Meow meow, I got married. Shen Miao nodded. I know, your profile says you're married. I smiled, a bitter smile. the person I'm marrying is Ji Yanzhou. Xinyao froze for a moment, and when she fully realized what had happened, she let out a startled cry. She glanced around and then whispered to me, "Then why did he give the exclusive interview rights to Yan?" I thought about it. Probably because he's still in love with his first love. My marriage to Ji Yanzhou was very sudden. He was the one who proposed. He was my senior in college. I know he has a beautiful girlfriend. He majors in finance, and his girlfriend studies German. Ji Yanzhou grew up in Germany, so he is fluent in both German and English. Indiana my senior year. I heard that he and his girlfriend had broken up. During that time, he was low-spirited and desolate. All his pride was shattered. By others, my roommate found out for me. Nanji, it's graduation season, isn't it? Senior Ji and his girlfriend have different plans for the future. One of them wants to go abroad to pursue their dreams, while one of them has to go back home and take over the family business. His girlfriend dumped him. Why don't you take advantage of his most vulnerable moment to cheer him up? I turned it down. My roommate said, "He's in a fragile state right now, and it's been almost half a year since the breakup. What are you still hesitating for? Keep hesitating, and someone else's kid will be calling him dad." Encouraged by my roommate, I mustered up the courage to bring water to the sports field. Ji Yanzhou went berserk on the court, dominating the game and making his opponents rage quit. I lowered my head, blushing, and handed him a bottle of water. "Senior, would you like some water?" He didn't answer. I hesitated slightly as I withdrew the water. Suddenly, he took the water from my hand. A faint, mocking smile. "Thank you, I dare not do anything intimate except bringing water." On the day Ji Yanzhou graduated, he confessed his feelings to me out of the blue. He was wearing a graduation gown, holding roses and a ring in his hands. "Sunanji, look at me." He leaned in slightly, and the air thickened with unspoken tension. "Don't you like me?" The final syllable was drawn out, carrying a hint of playful teasing. I blushed and agreed. "We got married the year we graduated from college." I started working at a TV station. He inherited the Ji family's estate. Under his management, the Ji family prospered even more. The first time I laid eyes on Yan, I had a feeling Ji Yanzhou and I are done, even though I don't know who she is, but the deep-seated animosity hidden in my bones has already erupted. Her provocative tone was just too strong. Every move is clearly polite and gentle, but I can always sense the unspoken rivalry between us. There's an undercurrent of tension between us. Intuition and gut feelings are always spot on when it comes to these matters. I could tell at a glance that she was Ji Yanzhou's first love, so, from the very beginning, Ji Yanzhou didn't marry me because he liked me. He was eager to move on from another relationship, and also to prove to Yan that he could get along just fine without her. Perhaps it was to make Yan jealous. Xinyao was so shocked that she couldn't recover. "So surprised that you could fit an egg in your mouth. Wake up, let's head back to the station." Just as I was about to get in the car, Ji Yanzhou called me. "I'm hanging up." After we arrived at the station, the crew who had gone to interview the Ji family gradually returned one after another. The relationship between Yan and Ji Yanzhou spread like wildfire. It quickly spread throughout the entire department. Xinyao went to ask around. In this beautiful love story, Ji Yanzhou is deeply devoted and faithful. Are you faithful? If he were truly devoted and faithful, he wouldn't have married me, would he? They were portrayed as the golden boy and girl. Parting is a pity. The leader looked at Yan with newfound respect and added even more admiration. The leader's eagerness toward Yan was nothing more than wanting her to use her status as a first love to get the Ji family to throw some money their way. Just before the end of my shift, the station director called me into the office. The station director looked down at the application report. He then asked me, "Nanji, I see from the information you filled in when you joined that you're married. Does your family have any objections? Are you sure you want to go to Ukraine?" I nodded firmly. "Director, I've made up my mind. I'm going to Ukraine." The station director seemed hesitant, as if something was holding him back. Finally, she spoke up. "I know you're bitter about Yan landing the primetime news anchor slot. There's nothing I can do about it either. Let me be straightforward. I really feel like I've let down the 5 years I've dedicated myself to this work, but going to Ukraine is something I want to do." The station director says, "Going to Ukraine as a war correspondent is a solid choice. Think it over. If you still give me the same answer tomorrow, I'll approve it for you." Once outside, the boss informed that a celebration banquet had been arranged for Yan's onboarding and securing the exclusive interview rights. Shin Miao looked at me with concern. "How about we just skip it?" I smiled. "Let's go." "Why not go? I have a clear conscience and stand upright in all I do." Seeing that I was fine, Shin Miao let out a relieved chuckle. "That's good. I was worried about you. 9. After dinner, we moved on to drinks. The fun-loving person suggested a game of truth or dare, not too out there, but not boring either. Everyone unanimously approved this game, Shin Miao and I were lucky enough to survive several close calls. Shi Yan is also very skilled at controlling the scene. Everyone had a great time in just 3 days, she had fully blended in. Shi Yan lost a round, and one person started jeering, with the crowd joining in. Call President G. That's right, call President G. Shi Yan's eyes curved into crescents, her tone carrying a hint of playful coaxing. Get another one, this one won't work. Shin Miao was grinding her teeth in fury. I was amused by Shin Miao's expression instead. She whispered in my ear, Nanji, aren't you angry? I thought about it. There's nothing to be angry about. At least it's some evidence of cheating. I can get a bigger share in the divorce. Shi Yan switched to a different dare, text or call the most recently contacted friend on your list and tell them you're drunk and ask if they can come pick you up. Shi Yan readily agreed and immediately picked up her phone to send a message. Before sending the message, she looked at me, gave me a gentle smile. I guess the most recent contact on her list is Ji Yanzhou. The moment she sent the message, a call came through. The person on the other end spoke in a low voice, with a hint of urgency. Are you drunk? Where are you? Shi Yan gave the address. Hey, have you noticed the voice sounds just like President G? Yeah, they really do look alike. When it was my turn, I lost. I chose the truth. The card drawn is, do you have a crush on someone? My personal file at work is private, but anyone who can see it knows I'm married. But I don't know my other half, a male colleague, Chen Zui asked with a slight blush on his face. Is there, on the topic of liking someone and having a crush, whether during school or at work, it's still a question everyone is curious about. I looked into Shi Yan's eyes and said, I got married. A flicker of sadness and disappointment passed through Chen Zui's eyes. He then continued to ask, you actually got married? I knew that Chen Zui had a crush on me since I joined the company, but I never called him out on it. A flicker of amusement almost broke through Shi Yan's composure. I got married right after graduation, but we'll be divorced soon. Chen Zui asked me cautiously, why? Emotional breakdown. Suddenly, the entire venue fell silent. Shin Miao tugged at the corner of my clothes. Ji Yanzhou's tall figure stood outside the door. He looked at me, extremely cold in mood, with no trace of a smile on the face, exuding an air of refined aloofness. Looks a bit angry. He walked toward me, then suddenly stopped in his tracks. Shi Yan called out his name, Ink Boat, Ji Yanzhou turned around and walked toward Shi Yan. His back was to me, so I couldn't see his expression. All I heard him say was, let's go. Shi Yan handed over the bag and said with a hint of sassiness, carry my bag for me. Ji Yanzhou turned sideways and shot me a cold, sidelong glance. He paused for a moment, but didn't raise his hand. Under Shi Yan's coaxing, which carried a hint of urgency, he took the bag. The moment Ji Yanzhou and Shi Yan left, the venue instantly buzzed with excitement. Damn, President G has such a strong presence. He's good looking, but when he doesn't smile, he really gives off an intimidating vibe. That night, Ji Yanzhou did not return home. He didn't inform me, and I didn't ask. We're almost done. 10. After receiving Shi Yan's call, Ji Yanzhou sent his location to Assistant Chen. Have Assistant Chen pick up the person. Assistant Chen suddenly brought up Su Nanji with him. Mr. G, I saw your wife during the interview. Isn't she also a host and journalist? I saw the lady doing chores today. I asked her about it, but she didn't say why. Ji Yanzhou suddenly remembered that Shi Yan had also gone to the Beijing TV station, so Su Nanji will be at tonight's party too. You don't need to go. I'll go myself. As soon as he reached the doorway, he saw a man eagerly asking Su Nanji something. Su Nanji said with a smile that they were getting divorced due to irreconcilable differences. Ji Yanzhou's face turned cold. He intended to walk towards Su Nanji later, driven by anger. He walked toward Shi Yan. He arrived at the racetrack. Only the surge of adrenaline, enveloped by towering waves, could temper his rage. 11. When I arrived at the TV station, I headed straight for the director's office. Director, I've made up my mind. I understand the dangers and difficulties of this job, and I also know the significance of being a war correspondent. It's precisely because I understand the significance that I want to go. The station director nodded. All right, I agree. Nanji, I wish you all the best. I may not land the primetime host spot, but I still want to carve out my own place in this career. Back at my desk, fresh gossip started making the rounds again. The edited video of Shi Yan's interview with Ji Yanzhou is out. The title provided by Operations is hashtag Beijing Elite. Ji Yanzhou gives first love interview. Hashtag CEO of the G Group versus the beautiful reporter. The click-through rate for the headline keeps skyrocketing. It is well known in the media circle that Ji Yenjo never gives interviews, but now, breaking the rules for a first love, the interview's viewership has skyrocketed. Friends from other stations in the industry messaged me to gossip. Nanji, I remember you work for the capital city TV station. Are Ji Yenjo and reporter Shiryen really each other's first love? After thinking it over, I decided to reply yes, but soon, the Ji family strongly demanded that the title of this interview be changed. Our direct supervisor won't let it go, all for the sake of traffic and engagement, trying to slip through under the radar. It's fine, Shiryen and President Ji are close. Since President Ji likes our Shiryen, he won't do that. No need to take it down. I know Ji Yenjo well enough. Once he sets his mind on something, he never changes it. He is serious about taking down this interview. In the break room, Shiryen stood there, as if waiting for me. I stepped forward. Her smug eyes carried a hint of defiance. The fox's tail is showing. Ah, Nanji, so you're Yenjo's wife. When I was studying abroad, he sent me a message about his upcoming wedding, trying to make me come back because of it. You're just his backup. I burst out laughing. Shiryen, if he truly liked you, he wouldn't have married someone else. Everyone knows he is devoted and deeply affectionate. You're back in the country, so why hasn't he divorced me yet? I wiped my hands slowly and deliberately. Oh, by the way, since he's so devoted to you, why don't you try to persuade him to divorce me? Shiryen's smug smile vanished as she clenched her teeth tightly. Shin Miao sent me a message, hehe, justice is served. She tried to play up the whole wife of the crown prince persona, and now look, the official statement just slapped her in the face. I clicked on the link Shin Miao shared, official statement from Ji Yenjo's newly registered account, rumors cease with the wise. I have no romantic relationship whatsoever with journalist Shiryen, even the interview video has been taken down. Shiryen stared at her phone in the break room, her face turning pale. 12. The Ji family. Ji Yenjo sat on the sofa, his long legs crossed. As soon as the door opened, he immediately stood up. He cleared his throat. I'm back. Only when I stepped in front of him did I let out a soft om-hom. Take a look at this agreement when you have a moment. As he took the agreement, Assistant Chen pushed the door open and entered. Assistant Chen's face was filled with anxiety. Mr. Ji, Miss Su, Mr. Ji. Miss Shiryen called me. She said she was being harassed at a business dinner. Go over there. Ji Yenjo's brows furrowed slightly. He grabbed his suit jacket, draped it over his arm, and immediately pushed the door open to leave. Assistant Chen hurriedly followed behind and left. My flight is in the afternoon. The original plan was to have lunch with Ji Yenjo. He still hadn't returned after lunch. I dragged my luggage to the airport. 13. This place is ravaged by war. War-ravaged houses are everywhere. Barefoot refugees on the street. A toddler immediately drops to his knees and surrenders upon seeing a camera. I choked up while doing the live report. I quickly held back my emotions. Continue reporting live on the scene directly to the camera. I have imagined many times what it would feel like to face scenes of gunpowder and ruins. When I actually experienced it firsthand, I realized that words could never fully convey the devastation caused by the disaster. Mental and physical deaths occur daily, and the numbers are skyrocketing. The city's buildings were largely destroyed, and despite the bright sun, the air remained hazy and gray. Faced with such a scene, a flood of emotions washed over me, yet in the end, all I could utter was, I hope for world peace. Suddenly, I remembered the scar on my head from when I hit it during an interview in the capital, fell from the upper floors of an unfinished building, being pelted with eggs. In the face of war, everything else becomes insignificant. 14. Ji Yenjo returned to the apartment. He picked up the agreement again. Upon seeing the words divorce agreement, he immediately rushed to the TV station. The station director immediately came out to greet him. Miss Shiryen is on the 3rd floor, recording a show. Ji Yenjo said in a deep voice, I'm here to see Sunanji, she's my wife. The news spread like wildfire. Inside the office, Shin Miao said loudly, I've never seen someone shameless enough to meddle in another person's relationship. She's throwing her weight around just because she's the ex-girlfriend. In front of Ji Yenjo, Shin Miao was even quicker to speak. Oh, you're no better. You and your first love are two of a kind. Birds of a feather flock together. Gives interview rights to his first love but not to his own wife. What a jerk. Look around this office. Who doesn't know that you, Ji Yenjo, are the devoted, one-woman man who can't get over your first love? Pfft, still pining over his first love while having a wife. That's cheating. Pure moral decay. All the colleagues were shocked, lamenting. Ji Yanzhou's scumbag nature and Shiryan's shamelessness. Ji Yanzhou's face darkened. The station director shot Shen Miao a look, signaling her to stop talking. Shen Miao had to get it off her chest, and only left after letting out a satisfying string of curses. The station director quickly apologized. Ji Yanzhou's voice was a bit hoarse and low, whereas Su Nanji, before Su Nanji left, the station director had already promised to keep her whereabouts confidential. Sorry, Mr. Ji, this is confidential. Ji Yanzhou didn't press further. He caught a glimpse of the personal information form on the table. Su Nanji, 26, divorced. The mere sight of the word divorce made Ji Yanzhou's heart tremble. His eyes were obscure and his rim slightly reddened. Su Nanji actually put divorced on the form. 15. In the 6th month since Su Nanji left, Ji Yanzhou found out where she had gone. Her phone and all her social media accounts are unreachable. Assistant Chen pushed open the office door. Mr. Ji. Miss Su has flown to Ukraine to work as a war correspondent. I've booked you the earliest flight to Ukraine. Ji Yanzhou's heart skipped a beat when he learned that Su Nanji had become a war correspondent. It felt as though his blood and heartbeat had both stopped for a moment until I realized what was happening. He wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, grabbed his suitcase, and rushed to the airport. Why would she go to such a dangerous place? He was afraid he wouldn't see her alive. Afraid to see her get hurt in any way. While waiting for the flight, Ji Yanzhou found the interview video of Su Nanji. In the video, she looked tanned and thinner. When she smiled, the corners of her eyes lifted, revealing a pair of lovely canine teeth. 16. I'll be heading back soon. Life here is harder and more unbearable than I ever imagined, but half a year has passed before I knew it. I sat beneath the flickering light. Someone tapped me on the shoulder from behind. I thought it was Darcy. I turned around with a smile. Do you want one? I went all over to find these popsicles. Under the dim light, the man's brows and eyes curved slightly. Tears glistened in his eyes. His body trembled uncontrollably. Su Nanji, you've lost weight. Have you been through something? I was taken aback for a moment, then forced a smile. Hello. Ji Yanzhou held me tightly in his arms, trapping me against his chest. I also struggled to break free. What are you doing here? He let go of me, his voice tinged with a faint sob. Su Nanji, why are you here? Do you have any idea how dangerous this is? I questioned him with some displeasure. Ji Yanzhou, what does it have to do with you? He suddenly growled. I am your husband. Husband, I let out a cold sneer. Ji Yanzhou, the moment you gave the interview rights to Shiryan, you lost the right to be my husband, because you took someone else's side. His eyes flickered. You know why? Because I've been at the TV station for 5 years, and I'm about to get promoted. Whoever gets the interview rights between Shiryan and me will stay on as the primetime host. You gave your vote to her, and I lost this opportunity. Only here can I have a chance to get promoted, and I love this industry for letting the facts speak for themselves, using documented evidence to change people's perspectives. That means a lot to me. Ji Yanzhou took a deep breath, and tears burst out. I can explain it to you. I gave her the interview rights because she helped me send something to a professor abroad. If I had known this would be the consequence, I would have definitely agreed to your interview. I asked Ji Yanzhou at the time. Even your wife is no exception. He said that even his wife was no exception, but he gave it to Shiryan. I've never had any private interaction with her, not even that time at the bar. Shiryan called me, so I had assistant Chen pick her up. Later, I figured you'd be here too, so I came. I was a bit upset when I heard you mention divorce. Walked toward Shiryan. I'm sorry, he choked up and said. The day you left, I went to see her, but I made things clear with her. When I got home, you were already gone. I smiled. But Ji Yanzhou, there's no chance for us anymore. From the moment you chose her over me, no matter the reason, I need someone who will always take my side, no matter what. I paused for a moment. Besides, I was dead certain you'd pick me, but you chose her, so Ji Yanzhou, I won't choose you either. 17. In the final month, Ji Yanzhou stayed by my side every moment. He said nervously, I know you don't want me following you, but it's dangerous here. I just want to watch over you and make sure you're safe. Sometimes I feel bored and scared, looking up at the vast starry sky. We seem to be just one tiny speck among them. Ji Yanzhou suddenly asked me, why didn't you tell me about the wound on your forehead? I touched the wound. Everything's back to normal. What's there to say? He stared at me, his gaze unwavering. It's your Birthday today, do you have any wishes? I turned sideways to look at him, his eyes sparkled with anticipation. I curled my lips into a smile. I want a divorce from you. He froze, his smile fading. 18. Upon returning, arrived in the capital city. I've launched a new show. The show is called Local Assistance. After Shiryen left the TV station, the director asked if I wanted to return to the primetime host position. I refused. Being a reporter is much harder than hosting primetime shows. Need to run around a lot, but this is my original dream and true passion. I've witnessed too many partings between life and death on the battlefield. I think the present moment is the best, even though I'm exhausted. I feel incredibly happy, because I'm doing what I love. 19. Jianzhou finally agreed to the divorce. He said he loves me, and I think he wasn't lying, but he gave Shiryen the chance to ruin our relationship. From the moment he gave the interview rights to Shiryen, there was no turning back for us, so, go boldly forward, don't look back. The road ahead is long, yet it shines brightly.